In this video, we'll give you every important detail about Emilie and both weapon and artifact calcs to help you decide on your build. Later on, my honest opinion on her value and best teams. Emilie is a Danger Polearm character that specializes in off-field damage. Her elemental skill will create a level 1 Luminous Case that deals really low damage, but it's able to create and absorb sands, which are given by any burning enemy nearby. Once 2 are collected, it will become a level 2 Luminous Case, and its skill multipliers will literally quadruple. But if burning does not happen for 8 seconds, it will go back to level 1. On cast, it will also have a Pneuma hit. Her burst will create a level 3 Luminous Case, which deals even more damage, but has a brief duration of 2.8 seconds. The good thing about this burst is however the fact that it's very cheap, with 50 energy cost, making it also a low cooldown of 13.5 seconds. But most notably, it will refresh the duration and position of any existing Luminous Case, while also preserving its level. So if you had a level 2 case going and interrupted it with your burst, once over it will go back to level 2. If you just cast the burst without the skill, you will summon a level 1 once finished. And it's worth noting that recasting the skill while a case is already there will reset its level to 1, like a new cast. But skills and burst are not snapshotable. They will always use Emilie's current stats. Her passive talents are all quite good. Ascension 1 will make every 2 collected sands release an AoE damage hit which holds the highest single multiplier of Emilie. Unfortunately, this is not categorized under any damage type, meaning that it does not do skill, burst or any other damage type. You can increase its damage with danger damage or Furina's all damage buff, but not with things like Golden Troop, which will be relevant later. Ascension 4 is a very simple damage buff to every part of Emilie's kit based on her attack. It caps out at 2400, but higher values are not a problem for her. Her utility passive is actually relevant in combat. It will increase the entire party's res against burning damage by 85%. This is useful because burning does AoE damage even if it's just the enemy being affected by it. Your priority for talents is simple: skill followed by burst and normals left at level 1 in most teams. Before talking about builds, it is mandatory to say that Emilie's damage is direct danger damage. Burning is there to enable her higher multipliers and extra hits, but it's not the main source of damage in her teams. Meaning that building elemental mastery on her is not important. And it's for 2 main reasons. Firstly, burning ownership is easily switched between the units in the team depending on who is dealing the damage at any given moment. And secondly, burn damage is simply not that high to begin with. We basically want burning, but we don't care how much damage it does. So your build is going to focus on attack, danger damage and crit. Energy recharge and elemental mastery sands are generally avoided. Attack percentage goblet can be used with tons of damage percentage buffs in the team, but honestly there are not that many for a danger character. 99% of the builds should just be attack, danger damage and crit rate or crit damage. So the same will apply to the substats. Crit over attack, over energy recharge, over elemental mastery, over flat attack. These are the artifact calcs with a big disclaimer, which is the fact that Deepwood is really good, but you can also simply give it to someone else, making Reverie much better. Golden Troop does not rank too highly simply because her Ascension 1 is not any damage type and her burst is considered burst damage. Let's look at the weapons. Keep in mind that these are not absolute and might change depending on the exact team and reactions being done. Of course, her signature is her best, as it gives her not only a ton of stats but also a good chunk of energy. Any 5-star stat stick does pretty well, especially Calamity Queller, as its effects coordinates with Emilie's kit. Missive Wind Spear, obtainable from the event in 3.1, is basically your best 4-star option if you don't buy the Battle Pass instead. However, if you do and have a spare deathmatch at any refinement, it is a better option. We are now on the teams, which is probably the most important part of this video. A quote-unquote mono-pyro team works great for someone like Emilie. Burning is basically permanent and it allows for either a support to buff pyro damage or a pyro on-fielder. Remember that since her damage does not snapshot, that means you can technically on-field her and utilize Bennett's attack buff to boost her entire kit. Arlecchino, Klee and similar on-fielders can be used quite well here, although she will feel mostly like a side grade to Kazuha or Shanling depending on your account. We can also take these mono pyro teams and not use a pyro on-fielder. Since the burning aura is considered a pyro aura for reactions, we can use it for 2 specific ones: Vaporize and Melt. Burn Vape are teams in which we keep a burning aura going and vaporize off of it. Great examples are Furina and Noblesse. You want to avoid characters that apply very fast Hydro, as Hydro on Pyro is still a forward reaction, which consumes a lot of the aura. This comp is probably my favorite right now for Emilie. It allows you to on-field her and make a great use of Bennett, snapshot Shanling, and everything is buffed by Furina. Not only that, you also get to vaporize her off-field hits. Noblesse will at times outpace the burning aura, but is still a great option and will get some insane hits from time to time. A minor problem here is Bennett not being perfect, so a different unit and hopefully someone that generates some energy should be used. As we said, we can do the same with Melt. As a reverse reaction, we have to worry less about removing the burning aura. Wriothesley, Ganyu, and even Rosaria with their quite favorable internal cooldown can do very well. Bennett here is even better, and you have options I'm displaying on video right now. I have two other archetypes I don't feel very strongly about, but they're surely something you can try. And that's either a Burgeon team in which you juggle between a Burning Aura and some Bloom creation. It can be done by Emilie herself, on field with a C6 Bennett, or with a more classic approach with the Artoma. Or, instead of juggling between Burning and Burgeon, we can do the same with a Quicken Aura. This aura acts as a Danger 1, which means applying Pyro to a Quicken Aura can give you Overload and Burning. For this to work, you will need good amounts of Electro, something like Fischl Cyno or Fischl Chlorent. But again, these are teams you should experiment with and not the real deal of Emilie, at least in my opinion. Lastly, I don't think Emilie should be used without any burning uptime ever, but it has to be noted that in an elo team, she's very easy to play. She will do no damage, but being able to just cast the skill and have it apply Danger with an insane range and no cooldown problems might be very comfortable for certain teams or players. Overall, I think Emilie is performing better than I expected, but keep in mind that all she offers is one thing and one thing only: damage. And with a condition, which is burning enemies. We will see how that shifts in Natlan or if he even gets anything to work with. Right now, with the current roster of characters, I believe her to be a niche, but good in her niche kind of character. Her pool value is not very high, but if you like her, you can make great teams and great abyss clears with her. Now, I have a small surprise for you. While I yap about Constellations real quick, you can get this code I was given by Hoyoverse. A sub or like is really appreciated so that I can keep videos and maybe more redemption codes happening. For Constellations, we have a pretty nice damage increase in our C1 and C2. The first increases skill and Ascension 1 damage and also the Ascension 1 triggers. The second is a straight up 4-piece Deepwood effect, which greatly decreases the need of the set as Rest Shred is less good if you stock tons of it. C4 boosts the strength of her burst, making it last more and hit more. C6 will make her an on-fielder with a scent generation and great multipliers, but just for 5 seconds. It cannot be overridden, so it's playable with C6 Bennett. And that was all. Let me know in the comment section if I missed anything, and thanks for watching.